are here after an OSE Lunchtime session on the prospect of a European unemployment insurance and the lessons that Canada can draw from the EU and that the EU can draw from Canada in the area of social policy. We're here with Professor Amy Verdun of the University of Victoria, a Jean Monnet Chair, and we're here to do a final interview to ask her a couple of questions. Amy, if there's anything or any one lesson we can take away from the European Social Observatory Lunchtime session, what do you think it is?
I think what we've heard today is that there's a lot of interest within the European Union community at large. So people from the policy community, university professors, have great interest in the European unemployment insurance issue. Of course, people wonder about the political feasibility and they want to know whether this is something that can work in Europe. We spoke at great length about identification with something that could be a taxing and spending issue for the European Union, but I think people are genuinely interested in learning about what could be done in the European Union in light of these issues that are important for Europe today.
Yeah, definitely. So, given our discussion and our session, what lessons do you think that Canada can take away from the European Union in the field of social coordination policies?
Yeah. So within the Canadian context, we sometimes lack the way in which Europeans can speak to one another. Europeans can have, through the open method of coordination, an opportunity to speak to each other. They set best practices, they collect data on what works well. They also have people from the policy community as well as government representatives and people from civil society talk to each other and learn. That's something that we could really benefit from if we did that in Canada. And so I would like to bring that back to Canada and ask people to reflect on how that works in Europe.
Conversely, on the opposite side, what do you think, what lessons do you think the EU can draw from the Canadian experience with regards to federalism and social policy?
Yeah. So within the European context, a lot of people think Europe is a sort of a sui generis type arrangement, so there's only one Europe and it just looks like the European Union. And in Canada, we know that our federation, the Canadian Federation, is very decentralized. And it's not something that people outside of Canada spend too much time thinking about. And I think today we saw that the Europeans realized that as much as they know that they don't have a proper federation, they also realize that in order to think about steps forward, you might want to consider looking at other federations, such as the very low to the ground Federation of Canada, to see how things have worked in Canada, what works well and what maybe could be improved upon, but to maybe draw inspiration from the Canadian case for moving steps forward in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.